For the last 14 days, I've been eating nothing but beef, lamb, salt, butter, and soda water, otherwise known as the lion diet. Although technically, if you do the lion diet, you don't have the butter, it's just meat and salt. So for those of you who haven't been following what I've been up to on my channel, 14 days ago, well actually 15 now, I started the lion diet to see if it could help cure my sciatica. At least I think that's what I've got is sciatica. I have this pain that runs down the back of my buttocks, down the backs of my legs, sometimes all the way down to my calves. Although recently I've been reading that sciatica is usually on one side or the other, but for me it's on both sides. Anyway, I'm working on the basis that there's some sort of inflammation caused by something that I've been eating. So instead of just doing the carnivore diet, which I've been doing since June 11th last year, I've gone more extreme with the lion diet, and I was also prompted to do a couple more things thanks to Nia from the Nia's Way channel, which is to eliminate coffee, and also I've also eliminated alcohol completely as well. So a typical day would start off with some hot water with butter whizzed into it, which is my replacement for coffee. So I used to have 3 or 4 coffees a day, and then for my first meal of the day I would have typically ground beef, or I might even do a roast lamb. The next meal of the day might be some all beef sausages, it might be the leftovers from the roast lamb, or it might be more ground beef, or it might be a steak. Occasionally I'll throw in a cup or two of bone broth in there as well. So what's it been like doing the lion diet and also eliminating coffee and alcohol? So I'll start off with the coffee. That was probably the hardest thing. So if you've seen my previous video, you'd know that by the time I got to the 3rd day, I was feeling a whole lot better, but it was pretty rough the first couple of days. I haven't quit coffee for this long. So this is now day 15 in, I don't know, it's been years since I've gone this long without any coffee, probably since my early 40s, and I'm 52 now. So that was probably the hardest thing. Has it affected my sleep? Not having coffee versus having coffee? I can't really say that it has. Has it affected the sciatica in any way? I can't really say that that has improved at all either because of that. But I'm this far now, so I'm going to stick it out for the full 30 days and just see what happens. I noticed that I get hungrier earlier on in the day. Caffeine's a pretty powerful appetite suppressant, and rather than being able to last until sort of 12:30, 1 o'clock before I have my first meal of the day, I've been having my first one around about 11 because I actually feel quite hungry by that stage, and that's a new feeling for me. But on the flip side, my meals are slightly smaller because I'm getting to the point of feeling full a lot earlier, and a couple of times the food that I've made has been more than I actually wanted, so then I've just gone and put the leftovers in the fridge. So overall, I would say I must be eating less food. Just looking at my body composition, when you compare what my body was like when I first started compared to what it is now, I've lost a pretty significant amount of body fat. I haven't actually lost any weight per se. The scales say I still weigh the same as what I did. I've got a scale that shows body fat percentage, but it's pretty unreliable. One thing I really like about the lion diet is, although it's much more restrictive in terms of what you can eat, it makes things a whole lot simpler. I actually find that quite liberating, is that I don't really have to think a lot about what I'm going to eat. These are my choices. I'm either going to make lamb roast, I'm going to cook a steak, I might have some beef sausages if I've got those, and I've got ground beef as well, or mince as we call it here in Australia. And that's my choices as far as what I have to eat. Do I get tempted to go off plan a little bit? Yes, I do, with the coffee and also with alcohol. If my wife is having a glass of wine, that's kind of tough because she's like, I'm not giving up wine. So that's been a bit hard, but I've stuck to it anyway. And then also same with the coffee. Like if I go and buy a coffee or make a coffee, now I'm just, instead of making one for both of us, I'm just making one for April, and that's it. And the other thing that I like about this is that it has required a significant amount of discipline on my part. So I've got a history of binge eating a lot of carbs and other things, and then having to working off that excess food by doing lots of exercise. And that's how I've been able to manage my body weight sort of within a 10 to 15 pound range. As far as my exercise routine goes, that hasn't changed at all. I still do VR boxing at least 3 days a week, and then I work out with weights on the other 2 days. So usually that's on Tuesdays and Fridays, and nothing, I haven't changed anything there. I haven't cut back my training at all. I still go for a walk for about half an hour every lunchtime. So I'm on the home stretch now. I've only got a couple more weeks to go. And will I continue on with this after I'm finished? I'm not sure. I'm just going to see what happens with the sciatica first. Maybe I'll do something like this as a sort of a detox every so often, because I tell you what, I miss eggs, I miss bacon. I don't crave them, but I would like to eat them. And I do miss having a bit of cheese as well. And I miss having a glass of wine with my wife as well. So they're all things that I miss that I would like to put back. But for now, I'm going to stick with what I'm doing, and I'll report back to you guys in another week with another update. And I reckon you should check out that video up there next. I reckon that would be a good one for you to watch. Yep, that's a good one for you. See you later.